Afternoon, Stephen. Welcome to the call. But with that said, let's go over to, hello, Stephen. I see that you're connected with your audio now. Welcome to this call.
Thank you, Bono.
Hello.
Stephen.
Hi.
Nico, without further ado, do what you best are doing and share what you wanted to share.
Sure.
Thank you, Nico.
Thanks. Essentially, not that many people. Okay, some delays also entering the room. I thought it would be valuable maybe if we can have a kind of an open conversation instead of me just talking. I've got a few questions here that I would like to ask, and if you don't mind to participate, I think we can have a meaningful conversation about this. The topic might be legacy. We all want to leave something behind when we're not here anymore. And hopefully we live lives in such a way that when we're here anymore, that not just the memory of us, you and me, individually, not just the memory of us means something to other people, but also maybe something that we've left behind that is more tangible. People can enjoy it, people can participate in it, people can engage with it, whether it be a business or whether it be a remnant of some sort by things that you've written or produced or content that you've created. So what I would like us to do, and I'll start with the first question, and would like Willie, Val, Stephen, and Sandile, Donnie, you're also welcome to participate, is what do you want to be remembered for when you are not here anymore? What do you want to be remembered for? I'll write the question here in my chat or in our chat. Stephen, can we start with you if you're in a position to talk?
Hi, Nico. If you can hear me.
Good. Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, fantastic. That's a very hard question. What do I want to remember it for? I think maybe somebody who helped other people.
Can you just repeat that? Sorry, I missed a part of your sentence.
I said, perhaps somebody who helps other people, who helped other people.
Okay.
Let me try to jump on another machine. Just give me 1 second.
Sure. While Stephen is jumping on another machine, Willie, what do you want to be remembered for when you're not here anymore?
Hi, everybody. I think for me, yeah, like I said, it's a difficult one, but I want to be remembered more for things like the guy that was an example of what truthfulness and what honor is and what discipline and respect is about.
Okay. Sure. Val?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Nico. I would like to be remembered for the impact that I left on the people that I knew on their hearts. Helping them, changing them, doing something, yeah, helping them.
Okay. Jason, would you like?
Okay, so there's obviously quite a few things that come to mind there. I think leaving a legacy is one of them. My impact on conservation, I do quite a bit of work around conservation. There's definitely two. And then the third point is obviously helping people in my space, which is obviously cryptocurrencies, assisting people that I would like to be remembered around those three things.
Okay. Okay. Stephen, are you in a position now to expound a little bit on your answer that you've already given?
Yes, thanks, Nico. I'm back. I hope this one is a little bit clearer for you.
Yes.
For me, I think as a person, I stand for certain things and I have certain beliefs. So I think that's pretty important for me to be remembered. So I'd like to be remembered as a person of integrity, a person that when their yes is their yes and the no is their no, or there's somebody that can be relied on. But and
Yes.
perhaps I'm talking about this as a work in progress as well, from that perspective. Not that I've arrived, but something I'm working towards.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that, Stephen. Sandile, are you in a position to answer that question? What would you like to be remembered for?
Yeah, I think I would love to be remembered for my successes and failures, and for my contribution to the world, and for my charitable act, and maybe lastly for showing up, well, of course, and for loving selflessly.
That's beautiful. Also, what would you like to be remembered for?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. I believe I would like to be remembered for if I impact other people's lives in a positive way, making them happy, helping people, helping people to be positive. So I believe that's
Okay.
what. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for that, Forza. William, are you in a position to answer that question? What would you like to be remembered for?
Yes, Nico, thank you. Three things comes to mind: professionalism, excellence, and integrity.
Okay. In what ways would you pursue excellence?
Nico, I set high standards for myself in terms of my output. If I do get involved in something, that I give my best, and that it will be seen as something that's really value adding, that meets the more than the minimum requirements. Yeah.
I think if I look at the answers that we've given on what we would like to be remembered for, we're obviously, all of us are still on our journey towards more who we are, giving more of what we have to give, contributing where we can. But it's a fundamental thing, if I listen to some of you, that you base a lot of that which you would like to contribute on a value system of some sort that anchors you and that helps you to stay grounded in the achievement of what you would like to achieve. Often when I do strategic planning for corporates, for instance, I think strategic planning is something you can do individually. It's not just something that we use the word strategic planning to indicate that in a more corporate setting. But strategy or strategic planning on the same principles applied to your own life includes those two elements, which I've mentioned, the values. Clarifying your values. I think it's fundamental to understand for yourself and to clarify it for yourself. What are the values fundamentally that you base, use as a foundation for where you walk in this life? And then the overriding one, the one that draws us, the one that might be a bit more future inclined or directed, is the vision that one can set, define, and clarify for yourself. You know, having something before your eyes that describes you accurately and that inspires you, that you can follow, and that guides you, so that you can achieve the vision of your life. As much as a corporate business, your business has got a vision, a lighthouse in the future that you have there to help you with the direction of your life. I think you can have it on an individual level. You can have it on a family level. You can have it on different levels for where you worship or practice your faith, for instance. So vision is very important that we clarify that and understand, because it gives a kind of words to your identity. You've got an identity, and if you know that identity, like the late Miles Monroe used to say, you know, if identity is not known, abuse is inevitable. If you don't know the identity of something, you will misuse it. You will use it not for the purpose for which it was intended. And as much as that applies to any product, for instance, that you will misapply the product if you don't know what the purpose of the product is, it applies to you and I as people, as individuals, that if you know what your identity is, and you've given words to that, you've defined that, and you've sent it out as a kind of a vision statement for yourself, then I think you start to walk in your own footsteps. You start to do what you are meant to do here. I think it's obviously the starting point of that is the belief that your life is significant, your life is meaningful, your life has got purpose, and there is a unique identity for you that is at least for now, if it's not in your mind, it's in the mind of your creator, because he holds a true identity of who you are. He has thought you up, designed you to fulfill that purpose, to live that identity, to have that vision. The interesting thing about vision is that the vision for your life exists, whether it is or not. That vision for your life existed when you were 1 year old and 2 years old and 3 and 4, and it still exists. The thing that we need to engage with is actually defining that vision so that we can understand the vision for our lives. So I think strategic planning principles for our businesses includes both the foundation on which we stand, the values that we hold. Some of your values are anchored in your faith. For most of us, actually, it is like that, because the two sources of values that we hold comes from either our culture or our religion or faith. There is a slight difference between faith and religion. I do believe there are many religious people without true life. And I do believe there are people of faith that really has true life. They have true life. But that is where our value system comes from. It's the way you and I were brought up. It is very important that we stand on those values, that we are true to those values. William said one of his things that he would like to be remembered for is his integrity. And often I think integrity is a value, and it could be for some of us a very fundamental value that could be expressed by these words that you walk the talk. You do what you say you would do. You are true to yourself. You're authentic about who you are as a person. And I think in some way we all embrace integrity, whether we voice that or not, because currently where I stand on the planet, I believe that the person you truly want to be is the person that you are, and that you are meant to be and born to be. I don't think when we're young, we follow after many other things. We would dress like our heroes, or we would speak like them, or we would act like them. But when we grow older, we let go of those things of the child. And we become more authentic to our own value system, our own identity, and our own way of being. And integrity, authenticity, and the smart word in psychology is congruence, is actually the words that we use to describe this kind of commitment to who you are as a person. Now, there are things about you and I that are still in the process of being transformed. I don't think transformation, human transformation, call it learning, call it growth, call it becoming, call it personal mastery, call it personal development, any words of those suffice. I don't think that process ever stops. I think that process continues until, and maybe not even time, because in eternity there is no such a thing. But time will tell whether that process will ever stop, that process of our growing and learning and becoming more of who our Creator intended for us to be. I think that's kind of a very idealistic thing, because we grapple with everyday problems, challenges, and sometimes we need a pause like this, having these 45 minutes to just sit with one another and chat about things that are essentially important, whether we think about them every day or not. But in essence, they are very important, because when we go out there, we just live life, and we take the calls and answer the emails, and we drive around and we pick up people and drop them off, and we write emails, and we just do things. But I think it's imperative that we have time in life, those pause moments where we can just reflect on actually how we do life. and what is becoming of us and what we are doing to live a life that is significant. It is one of the great philosophers that said that the unexamined life is not worth living. Your life, if you don't think about your life, think about your way of thinking. I wonder how significant your life could be if you never think about the way you do things, or how would you redirect if you don't discover for yourself that the things that you're doing don't add to the quality of your life. But if we do discover those things, if we do take the time, if we do sit and answer deep questions like the legacy you would like to leave, and the contribution you would like to make, and the things that you would like to be remembered for, if we do think about those things and you discover that I'm not engaged enough with that, I'm not intentional enough with that, then you can change direction. Because then you're mindful of that, then you're aware of that, then you are conscious of those things that are part of your life that might or should not be part of your life. And you can be, on the other side, also be mindful and conscious of the things that you are as a person. It would forever be my message to all the people I meet is that your life is significant. Your life has got value. Your life is meaningful. It might not even be experienced by you in these words that I express it with, that your life is meaningful, your life is significant, that you are valuable, that you contribute, that you mean something to someone, sometimes, somewhere. Because everyday living, we get so busy with detail, we get so busy with just what's in front of us, what we need to do, that we don't really think about our value. But let it be known today that I say, sorry, I can't say it enough, I think, that your life does contribute and that your life does have meaning. And there's this beautiful, it's a song that David wrote, and I think it's 138. I'm numerically disabled, so I can't remember numbers. But I think it's 138 where he talks about being woven together by your creator, by God himself in your mother's wombs. And it's actually, I actually studied Hebrew quite extensively at varsity. And the true meaning of that, for instance, is that it's like an artist creating something very beautiful, very precious, very beautiful to look at, very beautiful to enjoy, wonderfully. So the implications there of that creation process includes those words, just pregnant in the original language of beauty and wonder and awe and amazement. So that's the way that you and I were formed. I think David wrote something for universally, for all of us. It's not just him that realized he was wonderfully and marvelously created in his mother's womb. I think it's for all of us to realize that it applies to every one of us. In our minds, we've got these distinctions that we think some people are more valuable than others. I don't think that's the mind of God. Personally, I actually absolutely don't believe that's the way that the mind of God works, to say this one is more important for whatever reason. Maybe he's richer, or she's more beautiful, or he's got more intelligence and therefore he's worth more and his value is so much more, as opposed to this one who is not so clever, doesn't have that much intelligence or money or beauty. I don't think it's true. I think we are valued by him equally. And if that be the starting point of the way we think about our value, that the one that is eternal, the one that never sleeps, the one that never ends, the one that has no beginning, that he thinks in his great mind that I'm valuable. And as much as I can point my fingers to myself, you can do it for yourself the same. as much as you think that you are valuable, it's very much in alignment with truth. I've got this power to set us free. Absolute truth has got this power to liberate us from limiting beliefs or ways of thinking about ourselves that are not aligned with truth, because that's the only thing that really binds us up, that steals our liberty and freedom, is when we entertain thinking and thoughts and hold certain kinds of paradigms that are not aligned with truth. And many of those paradigms, thoughts, beliefs, we've acquired through other people's opinions about us or things they've said to us. And it could even be in a moment of anger that they shouted things at us that degraded our value, that took our value away. It's very important for you and I to come to these places, to just say, what is truth for me? Who thinks truth about me? Even the one that said that he wove me together wonderfully, marvelously, amazingly in my mother's womb. Isn't that the ultimate truth? It is the ultimate truth. It's not a rhetorical question I'm asking whether it is the ultimate truth. The answer is yes, it is the ultimate truth. And David would continue writing and say the thing like, every day of your life is written in your life's book. It's a beautiful thought to know there's a book written about you, just you. It's an eternal book. It's not, afterthought. It's not hopefully something like this might pan out for you. It's like this in my desire for you to know that each day of your life has been pre-planned. And in that plan, there will happen things in a day, on a page in your book that might want to indicate that you are not wonderful, not amazing, not great. And I've even written it in your book that you can counter it. And you counter it by the truth, embracing the truth, believing the truth of who you are, because things will come at us, and they do. And this life is not a plain sailing excursion. This life is with ups and downs. And if we are up there, if we hold to the truth, we will not fall in some kind of arrogance and independence and way of being that steals from us life. Because arrogant people, they need more truth. They need more truth, because being arrogant will steal from you great things in life. And equally so for those in through the valleys of darkness from time to time, through any kind of loss of income or a business deal or your health. If we lose that, we seriously and deeply understand the value of our health. Or you could lose a family member, which is a very deep valley to go through. But if you go through that valley and come to the truth of who we are, we can cling to the hope that we ourselves carry from time to time for ourselves and for others. We can cling to the truth of being wonderfully, marvelously, amazingly created for a great purpose. We can go through that valley of the shadow of death, and we can hurt and feel the pain. And in the same breath as holding on to the truth, we can feel hope. It sounds like an impossibility to both be in the valley of the shadow of death, but feel there is a lot of hope amidst that darkness, or to be on the top, because sometimes we get there as well, and it's an amazing place, and we can rejoice and celebrate and enjoy that, without that making us something else which we are not, better than others, or arrogant, or whatever might be the case. I do think that the statement made that knowing the truth shall set you free, or knowledge of the truth sets us free, is such a fundamental statement that if you and I were to meet 1,000 years from today, 1,000 years from today, and we were to have this privilege to have this conversation, one of the things you and I will remind ourselves and one another of is, do you remember 1,000 years ago, we said and heard that knowledge of the truth sets us free. And now 1,000 years later, we deeply understand that undoubtedly, and it can never change. Truth, the one thing with truth, it's rigid, it's unbendable, it's unchangeable, it remains, it's a constant like change itself. It remains for all eternity what it is. It's true to its nature. So the truth statement that one can make, that knowledge of the truth sets us free, that statement will never change. Held within that statement is, if you have knowledge of the truth of who you are, you will be set free. You will live a liberated life, and you will have enough oxygen and breathing space to be the person that was woven together even before you saw the first day of all those days that have been written in your life's book. I think to just have this beautiful privilege to say to one another that it's good to know who you are, and not just know yourself around or based on what a father, a mother, a brother, a sister, a friend, a teacher, a disgruntled neighbor said about who you are, but who your creator said who you are. I just cannot, don't want to, will ever get to the place where I can believe his intention, his desire in his being, in his heart, in creating you was malice or evil or ill intent or trying to create something that's default and not valuable. I cannot think that he's like that. Cannot think that could have been his intention to create you and me in a way that is going to be distorted and it's going to be a worthless nothing, something without value. So to know who you are according to his definition and his intent with you and his desire for you and his eventual, now that we are here and we can live those days, every day we can live those days. We are working in this beautiful book called My Life. So you are living, you're a living expression of that great mind that constructed and designed you. You know it. We are living expressions of greatness. Yes, of course, our parents were instrumental to get us here, but they were not the designers of who we are. They are not the creators of who we are. The mind that thought us up is so great, there's no words, human words to express the greatness of that mind. And that comes with that mind and that intent and that person. So it's good to just share with you and encourage you to embrace me, your life, to know that you're living some beautiful destiny, a beautiful destiny that has been pre-planned even before the first tree or ocean or planet was created. It's not like when you were conceived in your mother's womb, now God said, oh, we didn't know about this one, and now we have to make plans. No, it was like ages and eons before that. He has already designed you for that time. It's time, not 1722, where we sit and look at one another here and talk about these significant things. It's to 2022. And this is our time. This is our time to live this life that has been predestined before the ages, before time began, and as we understand it. And it's our moment. We can embrace this, and we can enjoy this, and we can live this, and when you give expression to it, it brings life. It really does. It really does. That your life, just the pouring out of the potential that He has placed within you when He created you, and you pour it out, and you pour it out, and you give, and you become that in which you are created. He's a giver. He's an absolute giver. It's not like He takes and hoards, and He's just this hungry person that wants for himself. No, He's like a giver, and it's in that image, that mirror image, that you and I are created. And that's why for you and I to be givers, to pour out, to give the potential that exists and lives within us, brings life. There's nothing, and then you walk past that, and then there is life. There's life like a tree that's planted, coming from a seed, and then it grows and it becomes this beautiful tree that gives shade, and it gives branches for birds to come and nest, and it's just lush and beautiful. Imagine that tree. And that is how your and my life is meant to be. Life-giving, making a difference whenever we walk and wherever we walk and wherever we set foot, whether it be in a challenging situation that we have to deal with tough stuff, or be in a celebratory situation where we can just enjoy victories and breakthroughs. It doesn't matter what you make up life. Wherever you find yourself currently in this season, just remember the truth that your life is meant for a day and a time and a scenario and a situation like that. And the potential in you to get through that situation, whether it be the valley of the shadow of death or whether it be on the hilltops in glory, for you to get through those situations, so opposite but so profound part of life. When we get through them, it's kind of because we were predestined to be there and to experience that. There are many things that happen to us in this life that we would not have chosen, but if we take stock and take a look at those things, and we see the value of those things aloud that are difficult and hard, and then we realize He's being crafted in us, He's being formed in us, life has been formed in us to bring more life. Because it's a truth that the seed must fall into the ground and die for it to bear much fruit. And we wrestle with that. I myself wrestle with that. And I don't like that, and I don't desire, nor do I think I need that. But when it comes and you just remind yourself and just reflect on yourself again and talk to yourself and remind yourself that it's not going unseen. It's not unheard of. It's not a surprise to your Creator. It's not as if He says, oh, I never thought you'll get here. And we haven't made a plan and provision for you when you get there. No, cannot be the truth. It's yes, you're predestined for every step you take. And I will be there with you. And I will carry you when you can't walk. And I will pick you up when you fall. I think if we embrace those truths from time to time, because it's not something I'm going to sit and think forever about only. We've got other stuff to do. But now we have the time just to remind ourselves the value of your life is beyond your own understanding. Beyond your own understanding. And if you can just start with who you are, I tell you, the way we deal with the stuff that comes is going to be different. And just on a personal level, from my side to you as a friend and as a person that I got to know, and I think you still know me better than what I know you, just be encouraged that your life is contributing. Your life is making a difference. Your life is significant. Not even because in the moment, experience teaches you that. It can actually teach you the opposite or make you to experience you feeling worthless or not good at all, or not making any difference, or you're not going to make it, your business is not going to make it, your marriage relationship is not going to make it, your kid that is a drug addict is not going to make it, or whatever. Let me tell you, you're called for a time like this, and you're called with all the potential within you to be able to go through whatever you have to go through successfully in the end. I just don't have more words to express to you the greatness of your life and celebrate that, embrace that. And it's all encapsulated. It's all held together in truth, in power. And when you and I find ourselves in smack bang in the middle of truth, we are so liberated and so free amidst the valley of darkness and amidst the hilltops of glory. May the seed of the truth that I speak take root in you and bear much fruit for you. And when I meet one another 1,000 years from now, face to face, and we look in one another's eyes, let us remember this day and say, hey, we heed the call and we walk all in this truth of who I am. And that's why life turned like this for me instead of just going like that. Thank you for listening.
Sorry, Daniel, before you close off, Nico, in one of our previous sessions, I brought up the word gratitude, and it's something we need to revisit. On my previous life, one of our coaches insisted that we write down in the morning and in the evening 5 things what we're grateful for. And we've forgotten about that.
Yes.
I've personally forgotten about it. And what you're saying now is so true. There's people that are worse off than you. Yet we look at ourselves and we feel that we now, this is now the end. We're still here. Things are still happening. And we have to. Thanks, Nico.
Thanks. I don't know if you want to see us off.
Yeah, no, thank you, Nico. That was very thought-provoking, and thank you for that. And thank you for everyone's participation. This was a beautiful one. Thank you, Nico.
Thank you.
Thank you, team. We bless you and we send you forth to go and be the light and make a difference. Blessings.
Bye-bye.